There are so many Iranians that are incredibly courageous and not at all intimidated, no matter how much bloodshed is promised or delivered by the Iranians. Now, unfortunately, when you go out in the streets, sometimes violence is so random delivered by the besieged. Now, we have a video here, and if you're watching online, it's significant warning here. Someone dies in the video. Now, we're going to show it to you because this has electrified the country and the world, and the woman in the video, Neda, was engaged. She was a young woman who was out with her father. She was just standing there. She was not part of any, rush or any kind of, organized effort. And someone shot her from an adjacent building. And the reports are that the Basij militia shot her. Now, if you're on the radio, if you're listening on the radio or you're podcasting the show, it's questionable whether you want to see this anyway. It is very, very graphic. But, hey, look, part of the reason we're showing it is because this is what actually happens. I mean, this is the brutality of the regime. And so it's one thing to hear, oh, yeah, 17 people died. It's another thing to see, and that number, like I said, is a gross understatement. It's another thing to see them die. So let's get familiar with the reality of what's happening in Iran here. Here is Neda, who now the whole world knows. She's already been shot at this point. She just got shot. And they're trying to save her life. And those cries of agony from her father, who was standing right next to her when she just got shot, just standing on the street. And some will say, "Hey, there's no need to show that." I couldn't disagree more. There's an absolute need to show that, because when you see it, you go, "Oh, this is what they're doing to their own people," and it is sick. It is unreal, and they have banned all of the press. And getting news out of Iran is a hell of a thing. They say that restrictions on the press are far tighter than they were during the Iran-Iraq war. They've asked all the foreign media to leave the country. They certainly don't allow them to report anything they've seen. They've arrested a Newsweek reporter along with 24 other reporters. But nonetheless, some of this video gets out anyway because of YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and the new ways of communicating. The state cannot control it all. Now, Jesus, do we have the second video? There's videos like this left and right, of course. Now, the Neda one is the most graphic and the one that everybody's talking about. But there are others. Not only police beating men and women with batons in the streets, gunshots in the background, but also in this case, you'll see two men who've already been shot. So let's watch that a little bit, too. And again, warning if you're uncomfortable with this kind of footage. This guy's been shot in the thigh, and they're trying to cut the blood flow. The problem is, how do you get them to the hospitals? And they have to carry them in ways that are, not ideal to say the least. And how do you move a guy who's been shot? Now, this guy's shot in the thigh. The next guy you're going to see is shot in the head. And he's lying on this ground, and he's bleeding from his head. You hear gunshots in the background. Under these circumstances, how do you get this guy to a hospital? They're going to try to carry him in a little bit. Of course, this is not what you should be doing with someone who's injured, but what choice do they have? All right, that's enough. You get the picture. And when they finally get them to the hospital, and there have been hundreds, and now people are saying thousands of people who have been injured, certainly dozens killed, at least hundreds injured, and it's tough getting the verifiable information out of Iran. But once they arrive at the hospitals, the militia then arrest them. Now, they don't drag them to jail right away, depending on their condition, etc., but they've turned hospitals over into, hey, places where they simply arrest people that seem to have any kind of wound that might be related to what they call a protest. So they shoot them, they beat them, they kill them, and then once they're injured, they bring them to the hospital and arrest them. So it is, of course, maddening. Now, what are they going to do next? Because the number of demonstrations so far and the number of people at these demonstrations have started to die down a little bit, partly because it's madness and chaos and there's no way of communicating with one another, and they're not getting adequate word out to people. The memorial for Neda was not as big as one would have expected, simply because of all the conditions that I just explained to you. So Mousavi has come out and said, and so has Karoubi, and another one of the people who had run in the election, saying, you know what, we are going to have a mass demonstration on Thursday. So they're going to plan ahead for it, and they're saying whether the government likes it or not, we're going to do it, and we're going to do it at the Shrine for Khomeini. Now, at the Shrine for Khomeini, you're not allowed to have violence. Now, we'll see if the police and the militia and the Revolutionary Guard listen to that, or whether they allow them in, and what kind of mess there will be if they don't allow them in.